Oh, oh, that was abrupt. Hello, Wolfpack family. Welcome. My name is Carrie Fowler, and I am the Executive Director of Parent and Family Services. And we are so glad that you are joining us tonight. The very, very special Facebook Live talking about all things move in. So, whether you are a first year student or a returning student, we have everything you need to be informed and prepared for the big move in just a couple weeks time. Before we jump in, a couple reminders about us. If this is your first time joining us for Facebook Live, we are so glad that you're here. Please remember that you can reach out to our Parents and Families Helpline at any time. This is our phone number and our email address. We also have weekly coffee chats that are going to start up in just a few weeks as well. They happen during the academic year, so you should get a sign up for that in the first newsletter that's going to go out on the first day of classes. So lots of information to come. So stay tuned. A couple important upcoming dates that you most certainly will want to mark on your calendars if you don't already have them. August 15th through the 24th is Wolfpack Welcome Week. Of course, August 19th is the first day of classes. We refer to that as FDOC. August 21st, so that Wednesday, is registration for Parents and Families Weekend. And we want to make sure that you have that deadline for the Student Health Insurance Plan opt-out, which is September 10th this year. So that is for the fall deadline on that one. And then, of course, our Parents and Families Weekend. But more about all of this to come in that newsletter that's going to come out later in just a couple weeks. Tonight, we're talking about move-in. So everything about move-in weekend for fall. Transportation and housing are with us, and they're going to help you make sure that you have every bit of information that you need. Many of the pieces of information have already been shared with your students, but we're here tonight to answer some questions for you, provide some clarification as needed, really make sure that you are well informed and ready for what's to come. Because it's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts, no pun intended. But it's also a really fun and memorable weekend. So being fully informed and fully prepared helps you enjoy it, and everyone enjoy it that much more. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and toss it right over. We're going to jump right in. If you have questions for either university housing or transportation, go ahead and drop them right below in the comments. We have staff behind the scenes that are answering questions in the chat, but then we'll also answer some questions live right here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it right on over. Katrina?
Thanks, Carrie. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Katrina Pavlock. I'm the Director for Administration and Occupancy Management within University Housing. So that's just a long way of saying I help oversee all the housing assignments on campus, and I will let my colleague introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kathleen Rupie. I'm the Director of Operations, and for the purpose of this, I've been working really closely and leading the move-in committee. So we've been doing a lot of planning together with lots of partners across campus to get ready for you and your students' arrival. And I think we're ready, and we're just getting excited for you to arrive. And so again, glad to be able to answer some questions tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, Kathleen. All right, if we'll jump right into our first slide. So we just wanted to take a quick second to let you know what some new things are with university housing as we go into this academic year. First of all, we are thrilled to share that University Towers is now officially part of university housing, and it is wrapping up its first phase of renovation work. And it will continue getting renovation over the summers for the next 2 to 3 years or so. But we are thrilled to have that as part of our housing inventory now. And in the fall, it will be primarily, in fact, all first-year students. So we're excited about that. We also want to, there's some new students assigned to North Hall, and that got a refresh over the summer. Along with new room furniture, which is really exciting because it definitely needed some new furniture. And then we did some refresh and upgrades to our Burgaw activity room, which is a big room that is heavily used by folks for activities and programs and things like that. If you're assigned to Becton Hall, it also got a refresh over the summer, fresh paint, carpet, that kind of stuff. So it is looking really good and ready for our new students to come in. So we'll go on to our next one. So really quickly, just want to talk about our move-in checklist kind of thing. So first of all, move-in is officially the 15th through the 18th. The 15th, 16th, and 17th are move-in appointment days. That means we just need your student to make sure that they have signed up for a move-in appointment for one of those days. If you're arriving on the 18th, you do not need a move-in appointment. You'll just come in and go to your service desk to check in. But if you're coming in the 15th, 16th, or 17th, We really want you to get a move-in appointment. That just helps us pace out the traffic on campus, which makes it a lot less stressful, not only for you all, but for us as well. And it keeps the lines down. Definitely makes it much easier in that process. Your students should have gotten an email on the 11th about move-in appointments, and we will be sending a reminder to folks who haven't signed up yet early next week. So be on the lookout for that. When you're getting your stuff together to bring to campus, you want to make sure that you're packing things in stackable, easy to move containers and things like that. But you also want to make sure that you label your stuff, last name, building, and room number. Just in case you get separated from anything, we'll be able to help make sure it gets back to you. So make sure you're labeling your stuff. Again, just makes it easier on that day to get everything where it's supposed to be. And if something gets separated, we can get it to you. We definitely want you to check out our packing list and the move-in details on our website, because there's going to be a ton of stuff on there that will help you prepare for coming to campus. There's some stuff that you can bring and some stuff that you can't bring, and all that is kind of listed out there. It'll just help make that whole move-in process much easier and much smoother for you. So if we'll go on to our next one. So what to expect at move-in. I'm going to let our friends in transportation talk about actually getting to campus and all that kind of stuff. But here's what you need to know. When you guys get to campus, there are going to be staff all over the place to help guide you where you need to be. So you will see staff all over the place with shirts and t-shirts and hats and all the stuff to let you know that that's a person that you can ask a question of, and we will get you where you need to go. So don't get stressed once you get to campus. We're going to take care of you. Want to talk a little bit about the check-in versus the move-in. So the check-in appointment is literally just the hour in which, in that hour's time frame, your student will actually check in and get their room key. You can take as much time as you want to do the whole move-in process. That hour appointment is just to check in. Get your key and all that good stuff and all the other stuff we might be giving away at the check-in location. You can absolutely take all the time you need to get yourself moved in and settled. Your student will need a photo ID at check-in. If they have their student ID already, make sure they bring that. That'll make the whole check-in process even faster. If they don't, they just need a photo ID, driver's license, or something like that to present at check-in. So just make sure that they have something like that. You want to make sure that you are unloading your car while your student is checking in. That helps the process go a little faster as well, is to get everything unloaded, set on the curb, get your student to go check in, and then you will move your car to a more permanent location. And again, our transportation friends will talk a little bit about that. If your student is assigned to live in the Tri-Towers, so that's Bowen, Carroll, or Metcalf, we want you to use our luggage train, and you will park at the Coliseum deck, and the luggage train, which is in the picture you can see, will grab all your stuff, load it onto one of our luggage trains, and take it to the building. And then you guys will meet them there to get your stuff. It's just a faster, easier way to get stuff to those buildings because there's not really parking conveniently located to them. So our luggage train works great to get stuff from the parking deck to the residence hall. And this next thing, so plan for August in North Carolina. That means it is obviously going to be hot and it's going to be humid, and normally move-in is typically one of the hottest days of the year, and without a doubt it will probably rain at some point during the day. So just plan for that. Just be prepared for how warm it's going to be. You will see folks on golf carts riding around handing out water and Howling Cow ice cream. So as you're moving in, take advantage of those opportunities to get you something to help cool you down. But just be prepared for what the weather is like. And obviously you want to pack your patience because there is a lot of people moving in. There's almost 6,000 of our new students, and we're trying to get them all moved in a few days. So just be prepared for all of that, but also move-in is exciting. It is fun, and we want you to make the most of this opportunity, and especially if it's your first child or maybe your last. make the most of this opportunity, take pictures, have fun, but just know it's going to be hot and humid and those kinds of things. So just plan ahead. And then the last thing we want to say here on this page is make sure that you're checking out our move-in page, because we will put some updated information there if anything changes. There's also videos there that will help you to kind of see what the move-in process is like. We have a video there that kind of walks through that, and it is super helpful as you're planning to just kind of know what to expect from move-in. So, all right. So I just wanted to share a few important dates with everyone. So the first one is if you like to decorate your space and you want to show it off, there's the Wolfed In Challenge. And that is an opportunity. There's different categories where you can sign up, but you could decorate your room and enter our Wolfed In Challenge for an opportunity to win some great prizes and show off your space. If for some reason you need to request a room change, or your student needs to request a room change for whatever reason, the room change process starts on September 2nd. We do ask folks to wait until then because we want to get everybody back on campus, figure out who's here and who's not before we start moving folks around on the 2nd. But if your student's not happy with where they are for whatever reason, they can request a room change. Then winter break, the residence halls close on December 15th, but we actually don't really close, because if students need to stay on campus, they need to be here, they can't get home for whatever reason, maybe they're working, they can request to stay over the winter break, and we will allow them to do that. And then spring move-in is officially the 2nd through the 5th of January. And then May closing is officially May 1st. So those are just some dates to keep on your radar as we are going through the upcoming academic year. And final reminders, download our on-campus app. It's a great way to get some information about the move-in process. Again, don't forget your photo ID. We say bring a mallet, so if you wanted to adjust your bed, they're handy to have, but we do have some at service desk that can be checked out. And again, don't forget, it's going to be hot and humid, so stay hydrated. Make sure that you're drinking plenty, taking some breaks so you don't overdo it. And like we said there, pack your patience. You might need it, but we do have this move-in process down with these check-in appointments. It makes it so much easier and so much less stressful. I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin. I think it's you, right?
Oh, I'll take it,
Oh,
Katrina.
DeMar. All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is DeMar Bonamere. I'm the communications manager for the transportation department, and I will let my colleague introduce herself, and then we will get started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Blakelock, and I am the parking services manager. So I am helping get everyone set up with permits and also working with housing to help everything go smoothly for move-in.
So what we're going to discuss today, as you can see here, we're going to first go over move-in, go over driving directions, the unloading zones, long-term parking. You can find all this information at that website link below, or link right there. We'll then discuss permits, the lottery that we have for first-year residential students. All that information at this link. Then we'll discuss Wolf Line and the Red Terror, which is what students will use to get around. And then we'll go over the Go Pass. I'll now turn it over to Caitlin to discuss move-in.
All right. So Katrina mentioned this a little bit when she was talking, and I want to double down on what she said, which is that you should follow our directions for how to get to campus instead of your GPS. So DeMar mentioned we have a website that's go.ncsu.edu/move-in-parking. And on this page, we have broken down information sheets for every residence hall on campus. And on these information sheets, we have a lot of really important information. So we suggest that you check this out before you go, download it on your phone, or if you're more of a physical copy kind of person, print it out before you leave the house. Can we go to the next slide and we'll see what that information looks like? So the example you can see here is for West Campus, which includes 4 residence halls. We have info sheets for all different areas of campus, including East Campus, University Towers, Central Campus. And on this information sheet, we have directions to the residence halls, designated unloading zones. So each residence hall has a predetermined unloading zone. So that is why we ask that you follow these directions, because the GPS might take you to a location that is not a designated unloading zone, and it might be easier for you to unload in our designated areas. We also have a map on each of these information sheets, which overviews the residence halls in each section of campus, the loading zones for those residence halls, as well as long-term parking areas. So this was another thing that Kathleen touched on, and I want to double down on, which is that the loading zones on campus those are the parking areas that are near the residence halls, are just for unloading your vehicle. So as Kathleen said, while your student is checking in and getting their key and all of that, you can start unloading the car, getting their stuff out onto the curb so that when they come back, you can move your car to the long-term parking and start moving everything upstairs, where you can then take your time getting settled, getting everything just right. But during the unloading from the vehicle into the building, that is something that we try to keep moving as quickly as possible, because as Katrina said, we have 6,000 students moving in over a 3-day period. If we could look at the next slide. So back to the web page, the go.ncsu.edu/move-in parking. You can click on the area of campus to get to the information sheet. And underneath that, DeMar has created driving directions from 40 to campus to show you the best way to get to campus from 40 during move-in. And so for each of the residence halls, you can click on the residence hall that you're moving into. And if we can go to the next slide, we can see what that looks like. You will see both driving directions from the 440 exit, and also you will see long-term parking. So again, once you finish unloading close to the residence halls, we're going to ask you to move your car to one of those long-term parking areas where you can leave your car for the rest of the move-in period. So a recap, and I didn't say this before, but it is true. So no parking permit is needed during move-in. As Katrina said, there will be a ton of people on campus to get you where you need to go during the move-in period. So you will just need to follow those people where they tell you to go. And after you unload your vehicle, you will need to move it to a long-term parking area. Again, the folks that are there will direct you towards those long-term parking areas. When you get to campus, make sure you follow our routes so that you end up in the right place. And for those of you that are moving into the University Towers deck, this is just a heads up that the University Towers Residence Hall, the parking deck next to University Towers is closed until 2025 for repairs. It will be temporarily opened during the move-in period, but that will close again on Sunday, August 18th. And finally, if your student is bringing their vehicle to campus, they must have a parking permit in order to be parked on campus as of 7 a.m. on August 19th. So I believe that leads me into my next slide. If, as a first-year resident of campus, students have one option to bring their car to campus and purchase a parking permit. And that is the first-year residential lottery. Students have until 3 p.m. on August 6th to enter, so there is still time. If your student hasn't signed up yet and is still interested in bringing their car, we encourage you to go to our website and sign up for that residential lottery. And then we will do a random drawing on August 7th at 12 noon for the parking permits to be sold in that lottery. And students will receive an email with information about how to purchase those permits if they are selected on August 7th at noon. Once students receive that email, they have 3 business days to purchase their permit, and any non-purchased permits will be given out to a next round of students who we will randomly draw again until we sell out of the parking permit. And then I am going to toss this back to Damar to talk a little bit about the main ways that students are going to get around campus and Raleigh.
Thanks. Caitlin, as she mentioned, the Wolf Line is what students will use to get around campus. We're a big campus, so we wanted to make sure we're getting students around as quickly and efficiently as possible. Our buses are free to ride. Students don't need to show any ID to get on or off the bus. During peak class time, the buses arrive every 6 to 15 minutes. Later in the day, buses will be less frequently, and they may have to wait about 20 to 30 minutes, thinking around 7, 8 o'clock at night. The buses serve all 3 campuses, main campus, Centennial campus, as well as the vet school. During the week, we run 10 routes, and then on the weekends, we run 3 routes. They run from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then we have a few routes that will run as late as 1 a.m. Next slide, please. So learning how to, or which route to your student will need to take, we suggest they use Google Maps that first week. Until they get familiar with the different routes and where they go, we are working on having the fall routes programmed into Google Maps. Your student just needs to plug in their destination, select the transit icon, which looks like a bus, and then it'll show them which bus they need to take or which route they need to ride from their closest stop. Once they've done that, usually after about a week, students have kind of have it down pat. Then they can start using the Passio Go app to track their bus. When they download that app and access the Wolf Line Transit System in it, they will see icons of the buses moving around. This app is real helpful, so it'll give them an idea on how close the next bus is to coming. If you click on the stop they're at, it'll also show how many buses are on that route and when the next buses will come. This information can also be accessed directly on the website. If they're in their room working on a project, they can just pull up the website and see that same information that they would in the app. Next slide, please. All right. Another popular question we get is getting to football and men's basketball games. So what we do is we have a service called the Red Terror, uses the exact same buses that they're familiar with during the week, the Wolf Line buses. They run 3 hours before kickoff for football games, run throughout the game, then we'll end 90 minutes after. For men's basketball games, it begins 2 hours prior to tip-off, we'll run throughout the game, and then 90 minutes after that. This is also a great option during Parents and Family Weekend. When you guys come to visit your student and you're heading out to the game, you can just park at the Dan Allen deck, walk over to Cates Avenue. The stop, pick up and drop off locations on Cates Avenue by the Witherspoon Student Center, across from Campus Health. Don't need to show any ID to use this service. Just hop on, go out to the game, have fun, and then come back. Great way to go. You don't have to worry about dealing with the traffic and parking at the game. So I know a lot of families have used this in the past, so we highly, highly recommend it. And then lastly, for those students that are not fortunate enough to have their car on campus, we've made it easy for them to get around the city using Go Raleigh and Go Triangle. This year they have resumed collecting fares, but we have an option that'll allow them to ride the buses for free. It's called the Go Pass. Students can claim that Go Pass, and it'll allow them to get on Go Triangle and Go Raleigh buses to go pretty much anywhere they need to within the area. Go Raleigh serves the city. They can go downtown to the mall, to the movie theater, and Go Triangle is our regional bus system that will get them to the airport, the train station. Also goes out to Durham and Chapel Hill. In order to get the free Go Pass, they'll need to get a code. If you go to this link here, go.ncsu.edu/GoPass, the student will need to log in with their Unity ID to access the form. Just fill out a form, and then they will get an email with their specific code that they will need to enter into the UMO Mobility app. Once they downloaded that app, entered that code, they just need to show the QR code that'll come up on the bus to scan in, and then they can ride as much as they want. Next slide, please. And if you, I know we went through a lot and went through it kind of quick, but if you have any questions or if you have a specific situation, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can give us a call or shoot us an email. All this information that we went over is also available on our website. And then we're also on social media. We're constantly posting updates, you know, whether there's a delay with a Wolf Line route or anything like that. You know, due to all the construction, we're always having detours, things like we're always, you know, putting out notifications to keep our students informed on what's happening, so they're prepared when they go to class.
Thank you so much, Shamar. Thank you, Katrina and Caitlin. Now we want to hear from you. So I'm going to ask Monica to share some questions. Where are we at? What are people asking?
Yeah, so the first question is, will there be help getting items to the rooms? Do we need to bring carts to move our bags?
Well, I'll take that one. When students who are going into the Tri-Towers, there is some assistance in getting items onto the luggage train to have them take the items to the back of the building, right to where you're going to move in. But once the items get there, it would be the students and the families' responsibility to take them up to the rooms. In the other situations, there are, it's mostly, for the most part, it's up to the family and the students to move their own items up. We do encourage people to bring hand trucks or hand carts with them. It does make move-in easier in many parts of campus. Not every building has elevators, but sometimes it's helpful to have the hand truck to even get things up close to the building and then carry them upstairs. So there are some carts, but they are really used at the drop and go areas where we need people to unload their cars quickly and move the cars to long-term parking to allow for the next vehicle to come in. And so those areas is where we reserve the limited carts we have to try to help make sure that process goes quickly, because that just makes the traffic flow for the whole campus go more smoothly. So that's kind of how it works right on campus.
The next one is, does the meal plan start on move-in day?
I don't know that this group has that particular answer, Monica. With dining might need to be consulted. My guess is yes, but I don't have that information available right here. We may be able to try to
I
find it.
believe the answer to that is yes, but I will verify and get that right now while you guys go on to the next question, and then I'll come back.
Terrific.
The next one is, if my roommate has an earlier check-in time, can we come move in with them and come to get keys at my check-in time?
Best they can to stick to the check-in time that they sign up for, because it's very scheduled out, so we know how many people are arriving, so we can handle the check-in stations and the long lines, and also very much about the traffic flow on campus. So we really try to ask people to, whatever time you pick, to try to stick to that time. People are allowed to change their check-in time up to 24 hours before they arrive. If the check-in time you really, really wanted was already taken, you can check back because somebody may have switched out their time, and you might find that the time you really wanted is now available. So that's how we would encourage that. The other thing about moving in right when your roommate does, the rooms aren't that big. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to literally just maneuver in the room and get the bed set up the way you want and all your boxes in and that kind of thing. It's a little bit easier sometimes when it is one family at a time. It's personal choice on that, but it just sometimes it's a lot for one little space to have that many people inside trying to get set up.
And then if you're
Monica? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to jump right back in. I
Okay.
apologize. So meal plans will be active starting August 12th through December 14th. But in order for your plan to be active the day that you arrive on campus, students have to make sure that they complete their meal plan sign up at least 48 hours before arriving on campus. So if you wait until the day before you arrive, it might delay when your card is actually active. But the meal plans will start on August 12th is when they open this year for those that have completed all the necessary steps.
All right. And the next one is, if you are moving in before the 15th, will there still be people there to help?
We will not have the same kind of services available prior to the 15th. So early arrivals, we don't have the folks out on campus guiding folks. We don't have the luggage train set up. So it is a different process during the early arrival than it is our regular move-in when we kind of go all out.
And then I was told on the 14th we would need to pay for parking.
Sorry, folks. So on the 14th, during early move-in, you can unload for free near the residence halls. But after you unload, you will need to move to a long-term parking area and pay hourly to park in those parking areas.
Okay. And what items are in the community kitchen, specifically Avon Ferry?
They will not, I don't believe, Kathleen, if I'm wrong, say, stop me, but
Right.
it's just the refrigerators, they have stoves, ovens, that kind of stuff, but we don't provide pots and pans and baking ware and stuff like that. So if your student wants to do that kind of stuff, they would need to bring their own with them, and then wash them up in the kitchen and then take them back to their room.
And then does the Go Pass cover the Go Carry buses?
So the information that I have is the Go Carry buses are still fare free. So they will not need the Go Pass to ride the Go Carry buses. I will look into that a little bit more just to verify, but that's the information that I currently have is Go Carry is still fare free.
The next one is, what is the best way for my kid to get to Amtrak station in downtown Raleigh?
So it would be the Go Raleigh bus. I don't know off the top of my head which route, but they can take Go Raleigh. They have stops within the campus boundaries, and they can take that downtown. I will say though that the closest bus stop is about a couple blocks away from the train station. So depending on the direction that your student is heading, like if they're heading towards Charlotte, I would actually recommend that they take the Go Triangle bus. I believe it's the 300 to the Cary Depot, and pick up that Amtrak station. That basically saves you from, it takes off a stop, because if you were to go to Raleigh, you're going to end up going through the Cary stop anyway. So if you're heading towards Charlotte, Greensboro, Go Triangle bus to the Cary Depot. If you're headed kind of east or north, like I said, then you take a Go Raleigh bus downtown and then walk a couple blocks to the station.
And just one more thing before we move on from that, all of the Go Raleigh and Go Triangle buses, as well as the Wolf Line, are in Google Maps. So if you're trying to figure out which city bus or Wolf Line bus to take from point A to point B, we highly, highly, highly suggest using Google Maps. It is so easy. You just type in your where to and where you're going, same as driving directions. You just have to select the transit option to see the bus routes.
Right, and the last question of the night is, oh, sorry about that, is a shower curtain provided in UT?
They're actually shower doors in UT, not curtains. But in other locations, There are shower curtains that are provided in them, but UT is actually shower doors.
Thank you, everyone. Those are great questions. And whether you have been with us from the beginning of this or if you joined in midway through, the great thing about Facebook Lives is that this entire video is going to live on our Facebook page from now all the way into the future. So you can save it, you can share it, you can pause it, move forward or back with whatever information you need. The questions that are coming in, we're doing our best to address them also with links and things like that in the comments. So hopefully that is an additional resource for you. And of course, if you need anything, you can always reach out to any of us. Start with the helpline, and we'll make sure that we get you the answers that you're looking for. A couple reminders for fall. Some of these we've went through already, but again, bears reminding. Move-in weekend is August 16th. That Friday is our first generation reception, celebrating our first generation students and families. So hopefully you received an invitation if you're an incoming first generation family. If not, reach out to our office and we're happy to put you on a list. It's going to be at 7 o'clock on that Friday night. First day of classes is that following Monday. Parents and Families Weekend registration is August 21st. And then our next Facebook Live is August 28th. And we are going to be going Facebook Live with prevention services. So we'll be talking all things transition, support, making sure that everyone is getting settled in, and that you have all the resources that you need to support your students. With that, we're here if you need us for anything at all. Thank you for your time tonight. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you on campus soon. Go Wolfpack.